Superman thing that I need to survive. So here we go. So here we've got an arithmetic sequence. Goes 3, 10, 17, 24. What's the next one? 31. What pattern do we see? Going up by 7. So we know that our common difference is 7. So in these questions here in part A, we could just keep adding 7 until we get to term 15. However, it's going to be nice if we have a formula. So we're going to start by using the formula that's on your formula sheet. It says you can find a formula for this sequence for any term if you plug this in. And the things that we know is we know what term 1 is, and we know what the common difference is. So for this specific sequence, the formula would be term 1, which is 3 plus 7 times n minus 1. And if you distributed this value, we could simplify this to be 7n minus 7. And combining like terms, you'd have 7n minus 4. If you liked using the slope instead of the formula, because since the common difference is 7, you would always be going over 1 up 7, so that would be your slope. So you know that it's going to be 7n as part of the formula. And if you pick a random one, say the third one, can you see when I find this third term as 17? If I put a 3 in here, I'm going to get 21. 21 is too much. How much would I have to subtract to get back to 17? I'd have to subtract 4. So that gives me the simplified version right away. But you have to do a little bit of thinking. Sometimes on a test and a quiz, the last thing you want to do is think, right? You just want to go to your formula sheet because you're stressed out about other stuff. Then the formula is great. It'll also work every single time. Okay? So now we've got our formula, and we want to find term 15. So this is A. To find term 15, as far as the formula goes, you now know what n should be for that one. Because to find term 15, n would be 15. Plug it in. 7 times 15 minus 4. This will be 105 minus 4, so term 15 will equal 101. And the answer is at the bottom, so we can check if we did it right, or you could say, Mr. JR, why does the bottom say a different number? Then you can help me out when I make a mistake. So we've got 101 for that value. So that's how you can find any term in the sequence. Now in part B, they're telling us that there is some term in the sequence that has a value of 220. We don't know which term that is. So we can say there's some term, term n, I don't know which one it is, that's equal to 220. When I go back to my formula, add some white space here for us. When I go back to our formula, we know that Tn is 7n minus 4. And now we know that there's some term, even though we don't know what n is, we do know what the term would be for that, so we can put 220 where the Tn was. Even though we don't know n, and this is probably one of the hardest abstract concepts in this unit, even though we don't know n, we do know Tn. We know the term, we just don't know which number it is. I put 220 in for that, and that leaves me with an equation where the only thing I don't know is n. Use your algebra skills. How do you get n by itself? Add 4 to both sides. Then divide by 7. check the bottom. Is it 32? Excellent. So then we know that it's, since we figured out n is 32, we know that it's going to be term 32, or you could write that as T32.